Hello, everybody. So, we started on this process last time, so now we're going to jump into what it means to be Lolita fashion. One cannot design without learning the rules, otherwise we could be well off the mark. What is Lolita? Well, according to Wikipedia, and I'm paraphrasing here, it is a style whose influences include Victorian children's wear, the French Rococo period, goth-inspired darkness, and Japanese anime. From that alone, we can pull off from a lot of different places, really. Anime is actually something I feel pretty comfortable in. I have a good idea. I felt goth dark. I need a refresher, but not a bad idea. Victorian-era children's wear I'm not the most familiar with. The last time I'd even thought about it was stagecraft classes, and the French Rococo period is absolutely something new to me. Being the subject we know the least about, it makes sense to make it the first to study up on. So, Rococo, or late Baroque, is 18th century French, especially, so it gives us at least a target of time and place. One that can be seen from every pillar of the culture is the use of almost every detail, which back then seemed to come up as almost gaudiness, that some even hated. Think about this, classical style was once the new kid on the block, with people thinking it was better before it showed up. I guess that shows that everything must truly be in a cycle. But we should also keep another little detail in mind. Another detail that pops up is simply put between the Victorian and Rococo women. Well, they weren't in an area or a time frame that wore pants, so we will need to do all skirts and dresses. Children's wear illustrations show that petticoats were popular, and lace is popular as trim, especially around the sleeves. It isn't a mastery class on it, to be sure, but as things go on, I will have to learn while I do. Stockings, tights, or going without can be seen in many of the shops in fashion over the turn of the millennium. Accessories can be the saving grace in the form of accents, while going with too many can be the death knell for the outfit, and I don't want that. Well, that is the case. There's still a lot of work we can do. Just looking around for videos about Lolita fashion, there is a line that people keep saying when they describe why they wear or back Lolita. I just wanted to feel pretty. I hear it almost every time. And it makes me think and really start to plan how to make my best work. I feel I have the basics, and just that the sheer basics will have to be enough to grow from. It can be done. We have the rough edges that we will need to fill in, because with everything we will need to learn on each style before we make our outfit picks. We need to make these look like people want to wear them, and it would make them feel pretty, and that will take a version of grace that, in all honesty, is not in my normal clothes. I come from very utilitarian clothing. Pants that are roomy for high kicks and knee strikes, good pockets, fairly durable. The tops are usually versions of black t-shirts or chef's jackets. All things that work but are not equipped with the visual grace that Lolita has. Now, I would like to make some of these outfits a touch more utilitarian, if I can, but that's going to be something that will only be attempted in small bits and pieces versus the overall outfit. Now, we have a lot of work to do, but that's okay, because when we try to do something new, all it takes is a bit of vision and a bit of effort before we start seeing results. Just the difference of where I was between the start of the first video and where I am now makes me really start to think about the art of fashion. It is something that people don't think about unless they are surrounded by it, and like I said before, the utility style, if I am allowed to use that word. I need to make something that serves all these masters. My own style, Lolita, the challenge, good taste, the art of fashion. It sounds like I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but really it just means I have to take my time and do it right. Because there is also something called Itai Lolita, which is Japanese for painful, meaning something so bad it is painful to look at. Taking the goal in mind, it is time to start changing the task mentally to a list of things I know I can do. Prints are going to be low priority, instead going for an overall aesthetic that has some utility. This feels a lot more possible than some of the uber detail print bonanzas that some outfits seem to be so wanting to do. We need to keep away from that. This works also because I do not feel comfortable using a lot of these in various places, so it will be a bit of a security against bad workmanship. Starting with the first design, there was a little more that could be done obviously, but I did like keeping it open somewhat. The kind of white boots was up to what was had, while the rest of it could be put in a place fairly easily, leaving a good amount of options for people who wanted to assemble or reassemble the outfit. They did not need to just snap it together, but they could give enough to show some of the person's own originality. Okay, this is an addition. As I'm trying to just do the designs on the fly in the program, but I find that it isn't working so well. I've had to go and design it out on paper and pencil first, which with my hand and nerve problems makes it difficult to do at the speed I wish, but that's okay. This whole series has been all about learning new things, and as time goes on, we will need to adapt and overcome personal challenges. Some people, physical challenges, while others are more mental. So explanation of my challenges personally would probably better show that. I need to make pencil scans, or pencil drawing sketches, before going to the art program, Krita in this case, hammering out the color schemes, and that'll be a better way to attack it. And luckily, there is enough scrap paper for me that we could. I have a bit of sketching ideas to work out, so some things, this hasn't been the worst, and after looking at some Lolita fashion from around the web and different places, I've already gathered some ideas of what I wanted and did not want in my illustrations. And what I wanted for a lot of these things was pockets. The fact they are not in dresses makes me twitch. Seriously. No. Something that's been around for close to 3,000 years. I know there are purses. I would still give pockets. Most of mine will have them, I feel. Something that I had an idea in mind, though. Granted, my mind works in ways I still don't know. But I need to have an idea to work with, and I felt it would represent the pieces better, is a little more usability. For the most part, prints were getting to be away from me. I don't feel that my capacity of me picking complicated print fabrics would work well, and would make the piece more of an eyesore, which is not what we are going with. Don't make it where it's only for one single accessory. Give it some flexibility. In the case of the international dresses, make it so it can be worn in those countries. The point is to show what I know about Lolita. So I think the slight rules here and there will give me a challenge. The next video, I will go over things that have happened after half the dresses are done. So wish me luck, and I'll get to it. Alright, editing this in, it really has been a journey, and this has taken much longer than I originally expected. I thought I could power this out in a month, but going from 0 to all these is something that next time I'll give myself a little more time with. I tried to push hard, and I remember not sleeping sometimes. Going front to back would be difficult, I found, and since I wasn't doing anything too mind-shattering different, I felt just doing the front would be a good view of the dress without losing too much of the idea. It was done to save me from going crazy, and something that I think actually helped in this case. I feel that some of my weaker pieces were actually definitely the sweeter ones. I think the darker colors tend to lend to my style of design a little easier, but at the end I would like everyone else to make the call on that. Some of the biggest challenges it simply has been the amount of time and energy to learn about this and get into it. It seems simple when you just see that you have to draw clothes, but the thought and planning that goes behind it makes up for it, and something can take a lot of energy sometimes. What kind of theme do you want? What colors do you want to use? How do you want things to react? Where do you want to put the sodding pockets? I'd make this a standalone video, but all of it is really simple. Get ideas, get color scheme for those ideas, to take it one step at a time in the program. I use Krita until you get some work done. It's a free program for art, and Paint.net as well. Anyone can use these. I find them to be very useful programs as well. Krita is more in-depth between the two and does a lot more work, while Paint.net is the easy hitter when you need something quick, done fast, and it's a good image. It's a good program to work with images. Now, Krita, it won't be Photoshop, but with a little bit of work you can do about 95% of what Photoshop can do, I feel. People do make extra brushes for it for free, and that's very useful. And save for a couple minor hiccups, the program's actually been very solid. And Paint.net is a decent photo editing program, and the price works well for me. That is to say, $0. Those are the tools and just how things are going. The next one, I'll show you the full dozen and tell you how things have changed in the international set. It has not helped. My health has not been the greatest here, but so far so good. See you in the next one. And if you like these videos, do me a favor, hit subscribe. See what else I got around here. I have a bit of a thing, so it may change. Doodles!